from our community participants. We have 4 projects that will be presented. And Ricardo, who is the person that should start?
It's Peter, then it's Denny, then no, it's Thomas, then Victor, and then Jihan.
Okay. So we have 5.
Yes.
Can we have the link of the Miro in the chat?
Yes.
Hi guys.
Hey Jihan, how are you?
Good, thanks. So can I ask a question, Seb? Is everyone just going to take a turn to walk through through an idea or so?
Yes, the idea is for everyone to take a turn and also for everyone to provide feedback on the project. So each project will have question time and feedback time as well from everyone that is here. And we have the Miro to do that, which is in the chat right now. If you guys are in the Miro, you should see the community project presentations space, and that's where we will have the feedback and the question and answers as well. So each project will have a few questions that we are going to ask you. How do you see this project integrating with others? What is going to be the challenges for this project to come to life? Is there a similar project or some project that tries to reach a similar goal? And we will go for each project through that process. And then we will also give you all the indications so you can join our Discord. I mean, join the list of official projects in our Discord. And yeah, that's how it will work. Peter, do you want to introduce yourself and your project?
What, this Peter?
We have 2 Peter. We have no. Okay, yeah. I shared the structure in the chat if you want to have a look. So 24 minutes per project, 5-minute pitch, 5 minutes to write questions.
when we're talking about projects, are we talking about this this Omana? I'm not sure what I'm not sure what project we're talking about, but this is the one that I had sent to you guys earlier through some slides. Is that what we're talking about? Okay. Could I do a screen? Can I? Okay, I'm going to share a screen. All right. Well, all right. Here we go. So wasn't really thinking about this to prepare, and it's 6 in the morning, but hey, that's all right. The show must go on, right? So let me start a presenter view really quick, and okay. You guys see this? It says Omana capturing our economic value. Everybody see that?
Yes.
Okay. Okay, so thanks everybody. This is just a crazy idea, and it's kind of really fun to launch it here. And really, the goal here is to get everyone's feedback, because I'm really amazed and impressed by how many really smart people that are attending this, and so can't wait to get your guys' feedback. So here's the idea. So the question is, I think it's a multi-billion-dollar business of what I'm going to be sharing with you guys. And here's the question is, how much money do you make when you use affiliate marketing codes? Like, for example, like when they say, oh, use this code when you make this purchase and you'll get like a small discount, or click on this link and you're gonna help me. If I'm a YouTuber, if you click on this link, you're gonna help me. I'm going to earn a few dollars if you buy something, right? How much do you get for that? You get nothing. How much cash back?
Peter,
yes.
You don't share your screen anymore.
Okay. Let's put that back on. It's weird. Oh, you know what may have happened? All good. No problem. No problem. All good. All good. Some of you use credit cards here in the US. Sometimes we get cash back if we make purchases. How much cash back do you get? Maybe 2%, maybe. So here's the idea. The idea is that Omana is a blockchain network that lets communities organize to capture the earnings of their affiliate marketing power. That's the basic idea. So for example, if we had, if OIS 24, if all of us, we formed a Omana community, how many things do we buy? We buy millions of dollars worth of stuff over the years. And how much of that could we earn a percentage of that? Well, with Omana, we could. That's the basic fundamental idea, is that a community owns its collective marketing power. That's the basic idea. So here's the idea, right? So as I said earlier, there's a high take rate problem. Everything that we buy, almost everything that we buy online, is paid through a click action, right? It's Google, it's Google Ads, it's everything. It's a $1 billion business, but you don't earn it. You don't get any of that. You don't get any of that. So the idea is that this DAO, this Omana DAO, would be a marketing organization, a community-owned marketing organization that would earn and keep the money that it gets through the collective actions of all of the owners. So for example, if we use ourselves, every time you buy the Omana DAO owned by OIS would, some background noise, would be registered to earn money through the clicks of its members. So every time a member clicks somewhere, every time a member buys something would come back. So that's the basic idea. It's a $50 billion industry. So basically, how would it work? So basically, it's a DAO, it's a network, but it's a distributed DAO. So anyone would start a community. Seb could start one from OIS. Ricardo could start one for his company. And you would take transform word of mouth marketing would be converted into equity. Every time somebody makes an action, every time you buy, that buy would be registered back into the Omana DAO. And members are economically incentivized to grow community value, because basically every time you buy something, money comes into, actual real dollars, real money comes into the organization, and that money would be distributed to the members of the organization. And there's this new idea, not a new idea, it's an old idea, but there's an idea I'm calling ancestral equity. Ancestral equity, I'm going to talk more about that later, but ancestral equity creates a way to monopolize the entire market and a way to incentivize everyone to grow and develop. So here's how you earn equity. You would use a member-owned affiliate code. So when you would go buy something, you would say, okay, use code 12345. But who owns 12345? 12345 would be owned by Omana. Omana owns the 12345, and all that revenue comes into the organization as actual cash, real dollars. So of course, like I mentioned earlier, there's like a million ways to earn money. There's all, it's a ginormous industry. I'll talk more about it later. I think it's like a $60 billion industry, and it's already established. It's already established. So what I thought, you guys maybe saw my video about tokenomics. I thought about tokenomics is like the most important thing. How would you incentivize? What kind of things would be tokenomically incentivized? And I'm not going to read this list. I'm going to let you all look at it. But basically, as I was kind of thinking through what Omana would do, there is tokenomic incentives to do all of these processes. So for people to buy, for people to sell, recruiting, well, I guess I will read it, selling, recruiting new members, setting up affiliates, participating in the governance of the DAO, creating new communities. Each community runs itself, developing new features, helping members, and promoting all these things. I've got some ideas of tokenomics behind all of these things to have Omana grow. I talked about this ancestral incentive infrastructure. So what I was thinking about was this. The idea would be that it's not one giant DAO. It would be small individual DAOs, like we talked about in that DAO session, be like sort of a DAO within a DAO, right? So a community that runs, say you want to start a new one, well, you would use a parent community that you would start from that would influence you. You wouldn't just start one from scratch. You would start one as a result of another community. You would be the child of that community. When you bring members on board, if you promote people and people sign because of you, they would be sort of like your children, right? So there's this whole ancestral idea, and the idea behind the ancestral structure would be every time there's any kind of an economic incentive, some of that, a percentage of that money flows to you, a percentage of that money flows to the community, and a percentage of that money flows to your ancestors, right? So a portion of earnings flow to those who came before you. Now, what's really cool about this is that the root DAO, the first Omana community that forms, is the one that spawns, that has really a huge amount of economic incentive, right? Because all the children flow up to that. And the children's children, right? I don't know how many levels deep it would go, but you can get the idea, right? The idea would be that the ancestors of the organization are the ones that are incentivized to develop it, right? So it really puts together kind of a crazy sort of a incentive structure. I mentioned how big the market is. It's a massive market. These are actual numbers in cash that is being paid. It's not the amount of dollars that are being marketed. Cash that gets paid. $15 billion get paid in cash back. $16 billion gets paid in affiliate marketing money. $17 billion gets paid in real estate referrals. So it's a giant market. This is actual cash that's being transacted. Now, what about who's the competition here? So I thought about this, and I tried to combine two things into one in this slide. So it's this is called a magic quadrant. So there's two axes, right? There's four segments. The X to Y, the one that goes across, is operational ease. How easy is this to get done? And you can see all the way on the right, the lower right-hand side, Web2 and credit card companies like Capital One, it's super, super easy to use. And that is I would say the big difficulty, the big challenge of making Omana successful is, the blockchain and people getting their identities and having to click through and there's all kinds of difficulties that make it really, really hard for people to get on board. That would be the biggest problem. The other axis, the up and down axis, is member equity sharing. No one does this. Capital One doesn't give you equity in Capital One. When you use affiliate companies in Web2, you don't get equity in that. There's no equity. So the key behind Omana is you participate, you do the things you do today, but you also earn equity. here's the way I would see a given community would get started, right? A given, so again, I'm gonna pick on Seb and say Seb wants to start a community with OIS. Well, he's going to be a founder, and maybe him and Ricardo and Ellie, they become like the founders of the community, and they recruit members just the way that you guys recruited us to be a part of this. You would recruit membership. But then the rewards would kick in, because each one of us, anything that we buy, just think of it this way: if you're going to buy something, if you have a choice to use like someone's code, or you have a choice to use the OIS 24 code, knowing that if you did, you would earn a part of that purchase, right? A part of that purchase would go to you as equity, a part of that purchase would go to OIS, and a part of that purchase would go to any ancestors. If you do that, if you were economically incentivized to do that, would you do it? Yeah, because you're economically incentivized. And if there were children organizations that got spawned from OIS, say someone, say Ricardo wants to spawn a community for his neighborhood, right? Well, he would spawn one for his neighborhood, and we would also know that part of that neighborhood's revenue would flow to us in this community. So there's an ancestral concept. The tokenomics fuels the growth. It makes it go boom. That's the idea. How do we bootstrap this? How do we start it? Well, first of all, the root community is the key. Whoever's part of the root community would be the most incentivized to get the ball rolling. That's the bootstrap, right? So everyone gets the tokenomics, gets everybody, again, it's all about tokenomics, right? So everybody would be on the same page to develop this thing. And it would, ideally, we would grow the communities and grow on their own and let the rest take over with the rewards, especially with the ancestral incentives. I also talked about the casino resistance. I hate that. I'm a developer. I'm a programmer. I'm a businessman. I've launched a lot of tech companies. I really don't like what I see. An element of what goes on in blockchain, which is this casino thing, right? It's just all about getting a token and promoting whatever you can to grow the value of the token, and then it dives. It loses 95% of its value. I wanted to have a resistance to this casino idea within Omana. And so number one is each community is discrete. So we're decentralizing power. It's not one giant DAO. Each community is its own DAO. It runs itself. It runs its own cash exchange. Tokens are hard to buy, at least in this idea, because the only way that you earn tokens in your community is by doing stuff, by buying, by selling, by recruiting people, by getting people involved. You have to do something. It's not that easy to exchange for cash. Members can exchange for cash because there will be cash in the organization, but it's not like an open market thing. So it's a little bit resistance to the casino effect, and it's not one big giant DAO. Right, so it's not a big target. It's small targets. It's small community, well, not small, but it's communities earning money and then using their equity and their earnings. And so that's it. That's my pitch, everybody. It takes a village. This is just one crazy idea, and actually, I wasn't prepared to present it, so you guys kind of threw me into it, which is fun. But that's the idea. And we need all kinds of people to get involved. And I'd love to hear you guys' feedback, and especially your critique. And am I nuts? Has someone done this before? Is this worth pursuing, etc.? And that's basically it. I'm going to show this slide here because it's from, I use this slide deck, and it's like a community thing. So you have to disclose. And these guys were the slides, and I can share anyone with the slide graphics. Okay, that's it. Thanks.
We just need to be careful with the time. So because yeah, but yes.
All right. Thanks, guys. Appreciate it. I'd love to get.
I have so many questions, but yeah, we need more time.
Yeah, I need the critique. Is this nuts? Who's doing this? How would you do it? Would you want to get involved? Yeah. Thanks, guys. I really appreciate this.
I
I will
cannot
show it.
share while
I will show it.
I can share right now.
But also, Peter, what you can say, what is the most useful to you for us to do? Like, is it to answer the question live or is it something else? Because you can tell us. I think it's good if we do it like 5-10 minutes more, but 5 minutes more, but not.
Okay, so in 5 minutes, what I'll do is I'll just go through these questions that are on the Merle. I think that'll be the best way to do it. And then, you know, when we're out of time, we're out of time. And then look, we're gonna, if there's interest, we'll continue. Okay, so do you do this connected to Web2 tools? Well, the connection to Web2 tools would be through Outcalls, right? Because we're going to interface to all of the Web2 referral programs. So yes, we would absolutely interface to Web2 referral programs. All those referral programs that you see, those affiliate marketing, etc., you would be interfacing with. So yes. Quick example, by the way, well, there's a community that I built. Well, I'm going to answer the questions. Why is it easier to build on the IC? Yeah, that's a damn good question. I think IC is the way to go. I think so. And that's one thing I love to ask developers, especially you guys who have come from Ethereum or other platforms. Why is IC the best? I think it is. I think it is, but that's why. What about the ancestors capturing all economic value taken to pyramidal? Yeah, so it's not all value. It's just a portion. A portion flows to the ancestors, right? A portion flows to the ancestors. So it is like, you know, there's a term called multi-level marketing. It's kind of like multi-level marketing, but basically a portion of the revenue flows to the ancestors. Is an ads platform part of Omana? You know, it certainly could be. You could, for example, have Omana advertising to its internal members, and there would be an interest. That's another revenue source, right? So vendors that are part of Omana, then people that are selling to Omana, to a given Omana community, there could be an ads platform where those vendors would sell. But the real money is through us, our members of the community, buying stuff. Let's see, what's the next question? The idea is to join marketing powered, like doing SEO for one site rather than for multiple sites, isn't it? Yeah, it's kind of like, it's basically like saying that you're a marketer. It's like your community is a marketer, and your people are buying through you, but you're your own marketer. I don't know if that makes sense, right? Because you own, basically the community owns all the referral codes. You would be using a community-owned referral code when you make a purchase, right? When you buy a house, right? If you buy a house from if there's a realtor who's a member of the community, that realtor would be paying the community a commission. How do you define the child's community? The child community, when you would form a new community, well, you have to pull one from someone, right? It's like a soft fork. Just think of it as a soft fork in Git, right? Which community are you going to soft fork from? Because each community, they're gonna tweak their DAO rules, the amount that they pay, the distribution, things of that nature. So you would decide what community you want to fork from, and you become a child of that community. That's how that would work. How much time do we have? We got one minute. If I'm an author of a book, can I sell on your site with an affiliate code? Yes, you certainly could. And if you have an affiliate marketing program, you would pay the community every time that they would buy a book from you. Yes, of course, any affiliates. Exactly. That's exactly right. Can you explain how affiliate marketing works? Who are the parts involved? Okay, the way affiliate marketing works, it's every time you click on something, like if you go to YouTube, and there's these people that do product reviews, right? And they say, oh, you know, click on the link in my description, because if you buy from Amazon, the YouTuber will get a portion. I'll get compensated when you make a purchase. That's affiliate marketing. Clicking on almost anything through Google is almost affiliate marketing, right? So anytime you click and make a purchase, when you click and make a purchase, almost 99% of that, there's a portion of that money that flows to somebody who's selling or marketing that product. Amazon and other rules forbid buying using our own affiliate code. Is this taken into account? I'm not too sure about that. This would be, I mean, that's a good question. I mean, if the Omana community is a legal entity, it's a marketer. So I don't see any reason why that entity would not own its affiliate, although there may be some issues, and that'd be something to look into. You don't own your own, it's owned by the community. Okay, I guess we made it in time. Thanks, everybody. Thanks, guys. I really appreciate the great questions.
Super efficient.
Yeah, congratulations. I think Danny is not here, But we can go with Thomas from Mushroom Protocol, and then Victor.
And we have Gian as well.
And Gian, yeah, sorry, yeah.
Sorry, guys, can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, nice. I think I'm a bit late, so I don't know if it's some kind of guidelines about the time and the use of the time.
Yes, so I can hear you, Ricardo. Okay, so you take 5 minutes to present your project. If you have slide, it's good, but you can just talk. And then from the talk, people, they will write question in the Miro, and then you can you take a time to answer them. And then if we have time, we can go to broader question that also in the Miro. Do you have a presentation to start?
Yeah.
Okay.
Let me- Can you see my screen or no?
Yes.
Yeah? Nice, super. So, my name is Tomas, guys. I'm the CEO of Mushroom Protocol. Mushroom Protocol is a US-based company. What are we doing is trying to build a new alternative in where we can democratize the biotechnology investment, in making it accessible to people, everyone. I mean, accessible and affordable are the key concepts behind the Mushroom Protocol vision, and that's why precisely we are building a Mushroom Protocol. So you may wonder why biotechnology. Biotechnology has a huge impact on people's lives, from vaccines, antibiotics, new treatments for cancers, for chronic disease, new food prebiotics, to new ways to produce energy or produce new foods. But now, biotechnology faces a huge challenge, the lack of funding. And you may wonder why. Because it's concentrated, the funding in biotechnology is concentrated almost exclusively on public investment. And what that means? That means that the researchers have to spend more than 50% of their time chasing funding, because the exclusively public concentration of the funding relies on public institutions, and of course these public institutions are has a completely limited financing capacity. So time is one of the biggest problems for the researchers, and the other part is the dissertation. Many of the researchers have been forced to abandon science, so it's a dramatic reality. I mean, when the people thinks about the scientific research and all the impact that this kind of a research has on people's lives, it's pretty difficult to see what is happening right now with the people behind all this research, in the researchers, and they are the most affected people in this scenario. So what are we building with Mushroom Protocol? What's the idea behind the Mushroom Protocol and what we have already built? Basically, we have a Web3 platform. It's in the future, it's gonna be function like a marketplace, but the idea is trying to connect investors from all over the world, global investors, with biotech projects and biotech research. These biotech projects maybe came from biotech startups, or maybe biotechnological research itself. I mean, in this scenario, we have biotech research from biotech companies and biotech research from younger PhDs that has the desire or they want to build a company from this research. So the main concept here is that Mushroom Protocol is democratizing the biotechnology investment, making it accessible to people worldwide. How it works, basically, by tokenizing intellectual property, we open up this affordable and secure investment. The idea is basically take this intellectual property rights from the research and use blockchain to tokenize the intellectual property rights, and of course, we're gonna have intellectual property based tokens at the end of the process of Mushroom Protocol. So the idea is trying to connect this biotech research with global funding and enabling research talent to get capital and avoid all this kind of big problems that they have to face right now. I mean, the time and the desertion. What is the value behind a Mushroom Protocol? Basically, the tokenization is capable to offer the idea of fractionalize the intellectual property. So the ticket that you have to put to invest in this biotechnological research are really low compared with another traditional investment ways. And the other is we offer a completely easy and affordable way to invest in just a few clicks. You can invest in biotechnology, and of course we offer worldwide access and monitoring to the assets which each investors already has, and of course they can monitoring their assets whenever they want. Some market size insights. The real world asset tokenization market is expected to reach 16 trillion by 2030. That is about the 10% of the global GDP. It's a huge market for the coming years. For the other part, we have a scenario where the biotechnological investment, or in general terms, I mean, not in research, but in a industry way. I mean, the industry of biotechnology is expected to reach 4 trillion by the same year. So to trying to support this incredible growth of this market, our business model is based on transaction fees. We basically charge a percentage fee on each transactions for the researchers, for the investors. For the investors, it's a really low percent. It's around 1 and 2% of the transactions, depending if it's a buy or it's a purchase or the sale of the token. And for the researcher, it's a percentage that rely in the total amount that each research raise. We have an incredible team. Maybe one of you guys already met Andres, Esteban, but yeah, we are 3 co-founders, and all of us bring more than 20 years of experience in biotech research, and also we have a core team with 2 developers deeply inside in the ICP and the Motoko ecosystem. They bring more than 5 years in blockchain development. These are some a bit of numbers of our traction right now. At the moment, we have a fully functional, fully operative platform deployed on the mainnet and on ICP blockchain. The research can apply for funding. The investors can click the projects, and they can access to the info of the projects, and they can mint the token of her interest. Also, we have received funding for more than 30 cases between equity and grant source. Also for the side of from Mushroom Protocol OPEX, we have on board 7 research in the verticals of health tech and green tech, and we have on board more than 200 users right now at the platform. Basically, guys, Mushroom Protocol, we are empowering biotech research to have a global impact and benefits everyone. That's the purpose of what are we building right now. So let me invite you all to join and be part of the future of biotech investment, and let's create impact together, guys. Thank you. Yeah, but yeah, I think please, man, maybe
I did in the chat. I did.
Thank you, man. Because Esteban is online also, so he's gonna answer in some of this question. But is Peter, no, Eddie, Eli, perfect, Miro. Nice one. Let me check. Let me check. So, wow. I can see tokenomics, forum, economic protocol, social networks, developers DAOs.
Do you want us to ask you the questions? We have the questions here.
Yeah, I think it's better. I mean, in the
Okay.
meantime, I'm still looking for the table of Miro. That's yeah. I already found it. Don't worry. Yeah, Mushroom Pro. Yeah. I'm a bit of lost, but yeah, I'm already found it. No, don't worry, don't worry. Okay. The question are, what's about extending it other science? Well, it's really nice. We basically, guys, are taking the biotechnological sector because we have a deep background in biotechnology. But of course, when I look to biotechnology, I see a lot of industries that actually they can take some kind of advantage of this big industry, named biotechnology. But yeah, I mean, I'm really open, and the entire team is really open to extend this funding model, this investment model, this decentralized investment model to other science. It would be really awesome for us. But right now, the starting point, if I can say, or if I can put in this manner, it's the biotechnology that it's one of my expertise area, and also the expertise area of Esteban. So I would say that it's the starting point, just the biotechnology, but of course we can abord another science. Yeah, don't worry. Um, is it for profit projects only? I will say that yes, because the idea is that we can offer some kind of attractive vehicle of investment to the investors, to the users of Mushroom Protocol. But also we are we been talking with we have been talking with the guys in terms of there's a lot of projects that actually they don't have the visibility, or they don't have how to access to funding. Many of them they have a really huge social impact, and this kind of project, of course, is really interesting that we could in the future trying to put inside of the Mushroom Protocol offer. But yeah, I mean, I'm not discharged anything. Let me check the other. Do you have plans to bring incentive for biotech to be more open, having like more funding if they have tools open to more open rate? Yeah. I don't know if I understand that question. I mean, what is the in which kind of incentive for biotech are you thinking? I don't know who is who made this question, but maybe you can explain me the question. Yeah. 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 I mean, I will say that Mushroom Protocol marks inside the decentralized science movement. So the idea is trying to open the barriers and lower the barriers of the access this kind of knowledge, not just the biotechnological knowledge, of course, the scientific and technological knowledge that usually the people can't really understand what is the future or the potential impact of this research. But yeah, I think in our deepness or in our purpose, I would say that Mushroom Protocol has precisely the idea of trying to open the knowledge behind this kind of complex biotech research or scientific research. You mentioned Iberia owning the IP. Who owns the IP? Corporation? No. Who owns the IP is precisely who buy it. So I don't know who made this question, but I don't know if it's Victor, but if it was you, Victor, if you buy one of the tokens of this biotech research, you own the intellectual property rights, and we have two kind of agreements behind this ownership that secures precisely in which way the rewards of the future rewards of the future license strategies or deals or commercial deals from the research, it can be rewarded for all the token holders. So yeah. Do you have plans to bring incentive for biotech? I think it's the same. Yeah. Question. Do not understand the connection of real world asset and your project. I think if one take a look in a widest way, real world assets are from bonds, stock, funds, investment funds, and intellectual property rights are one of these real world assets precisely. So that's the answers to that question. What is the focus for Mushroom Protocol right now? Right now, we are focusing in trying to raise money precisely to build a mobile app that can lower the barrier or the access barriers for people like I don't know, when I think in trying to make more open and accessible and affordable the biotechnology investment to everyone, I need to think in the way in which this actually can happen. I mean, if you don't know anything about blockchain, I would say that the user experience of blockchain right now in several platforms, it's really complex. You need to do a lot of intermediate steps to access, and actually to interact with the blockchain. So we are trying to develop a new mobile app that offers a more easy user experience. I mean, in which you can invest in biotechnology with just 1, 2, or 3 clicks. So that's focus. Actually, I had a meeting the other day with Eli, and precisely I talked with him, and I shared with him that actually I'm in Amsterdam, being part of one of the biggest accelerators in Europe. Actually, we were yesterday in the Network Conference presenting and sharing what I'll be building in Mushroom Protocol. So the main focus, I would say that it's precisely this, trying to build a user experience, a smooth and easy user experience, packaged in a mobile app, trying to make precisely this biotechnological investment affordable and accessible to people worldwide. What do you need from OIS 24? I would say that this kind of networking sessions or this kind of sessions, it's are really good for us. I mean, we have been faces a lot of different audience trying to build a form to communicate what are we building. I would say that right now we have found a really interesting way in communicate what are we building right now. That's was precisely the way in I communicate this in the next web conference yesterday. So I would say that networking could be really awesome for us, and maybe trying to I don't know to put the Mushroom protocol inside the ICP ecosystem, trying to onboard the Mushroom protocol to the ICP ecosystem, networking and ICP ecosystem participation. I would say that maybe are really good stuffs for Mushroom protocol right now. Are you using a Mushroom to raise money for Mushroom? No. We are not using a Mushroom to raise money for Mushroom. I mean, at the very beginning, we thought about that, but yeah, it's not a model that we need or we want to explore right now. But actually, in the next 6 months, we're planning to launch our token or utility token. It's a funky token that it's pretty useful for the platform. So I don't know. I think that's all. I don't know if you guys have more questions or maybe you need that I can clarify some stuffs about the project. But if don't, please feel free to reach me out. Me, Tomas, Esteban, or Andres. They doesn't care to who contact, but yeah, we are ready to answer all of your questions, guys. Really nice space, and really thanks for the opportunity and for the space, guys. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you very much, Thomas. And yeah, if you can, for Peter, maybe it's interesting to take time to write a short answer, maybe on the Miro. So when people that did not attend the session, they want to see the answer, maybe. And, yeah, thank you very much. Victor, are you ready? Do you have a presentation?
Hello, yes, I'm ready. Please check my sound. Is it okay?
It's
Voice.
good, yes. You have a presentation or you just talk?
I have presentation, so I'm sharing the screen. Window. Wait, it does not work. Let the entire screen. Share. You see my screen, yes? So,
Yes.
do you see my screen?
Yes.
So it is a project zone that raising money. A fusion of social network, marketplace, and web directory, like Twitter plus Kindle plus LiveJournal plus Demos simultaneously. It does not work. It works. Strong points of my project. Affiliate program. So by the way, all authors can earn, unlike us in Twitter, for example. Good for indie authors. The mission to eliminate network effect, that everybody can publish on more the same level as honest social network. The fusion of social network, web directory, and marketplace is a profit multiplier for authors and for us. The problem: fragmented social platforms that don't benefit creators. Twitter, LiveJournal, and Kindle are sacred. Not all Twitter authors earn. Demos is dead. Indie authors have a difficulty to succeed on Twitter. The solution: an integrated blockchain-based platform with built-in monetization. It's a simple system of items and folders. Folders are of two kinds: communal, everybody can pass, order is decided by voting, and they can be edited by voting, and only owner can pass. An item can be in multiple folders. That helps indie authors, among others, by the fact that they can pass in an already established folder. It's the first blockchain, first social network moderated by its users. So you see its preliminary screenshot, not design yet, but you see that it's folders and items in folders. The order is voted by the users. Go-to-market interaction plan. We expect to get in the base case up to 10% of the market of Twitter. Not 100% because we can't replace Twitter, because our product is more difficult to use than Twitter, harder UX. 10% is anyway almost 6 million active monthly users. We are going to use the SEO Twitter ads with writing the ads on Twitter down with Twitter. Use cases. First, user creates one folder and uses like Twitter to create short post links. Second, user creates one folder and uses like LiveJournal, blog. Third, multiple interlinked folders like demos, and folders with paid items like Marketplace. So we sell files, our business, our profit streams. We sell files, sell ads, accept donations. More exactly, our users sell files, sell ads, accept donations. The money is spread between the network, the author and the buyer affiliate and the seller affiliate. We have two kinds of affiliates. And our system is advertised with the help of the affiliate program. The affiliate program benefits both the networks and individual authors who actually can make money. Our team, I'm the mathematician who discovered Torrent Group actions and a serial blockchain hackathons winner. Etik Kakameta certified marketer, Sagar Kumar, founder of Let's Lens and associate manager of Entrepreneur Cell. So the status, most of the code is written. We use Internet Computer, as Kibis, you know, we use CanDB and advanced NoSQL DB used for data storage, allowing seamless software updates. And I created a new database to be used together with CanDB. NetDB is a distributed database with seamless enumeration of items, so we can quickly build list of items. So we are the first social network that moderates by users. We order items in folders accordingly to user voting. This is use of funds. I think I can't skip this for now. Presented by Victor Patton, as I already said, mathematician who discovered all the similar actions, plus other group members, team members. By innovating, you support science. This is our site. Not yet the product released, but it may be released very soon, because it remains little to first beta. Thank you for your attention. Questions, please.
Okay, thank you very much. Thank you very much, Victor.
So should I stop sharing?
I said the Miro. I have a. Can you take off your mic?
I'm stopping sharing. Yeah,
Okay, sorry. So the normally the Miro link should directly link to your presentation. It should be like people do not have to search for it. No, why?
Thank you, Victor. I have a question that I put in the Miro. So my question is there already a way to use your project for the game that we are starting with the OAS? So we are starting this game and we have a version 1 of the rules, but the idea is to have different version depending on the community that can, game and write maybe a version 1.1, and this should be voted on, and so we can vote on which is the correct version of the story and the game. Is it something that could be used for we've done?
So I don't understand the question. Which story, which game, which rules? I don't understand.
Okay, so I need to explain from the beginning.
Am I heard? I don't understand the question.
The idea is where is it coming from? Oh, Victor, can you?
I hear you, but I don't understand the question. Was I heard before? I'm not sure.
Okay. Okay, so we have a document, version 1 of the rules of a game that everyone is playing. And I want to have a different version of this game. So can we already use Zone for voting, like storing this and voting on the different versions? Like today?
Why my microphone all time is muted? I muted, and it becomes
Yeah,
muted again.
I'm sorry, Victor, but we have like feedback, like it returns our voice. So while Seth is talking, I mute your microphone, or just do it yourself. While you're not talking, please.
So can I speak now? Can I speak now?
Yeah, go ahead.
So I'm not sure that I understand well. Do you mean whether you can in Zone move for different propositions? If the question is this, then yes, you can after it will be released, and not its first beta, by the way. I need to finish it. I'm not sure if it's the best use case of our Zone, but it can be used this way.
Okay, I would like to know to see what we can do today with your with Zone. That would be cool. Also, just for you to have some people testing it.
It's not released.
So you said the backend is ready, right?
Mostly, it remains to fix some bugs.
Okay. Would you like to release it at some point during this month?
Yes, just need a small financial support, like winning a grant in this competition.
Okay, but we cannot guarantee prizes that, you know, if I cannot say that if you release it you will get prizes. So
I told another thing. I told that I need a little bit money to be sure that I can release it soon.
okay, but yeah, that's not something we can guarantee.
I understand. In Zone, nothing prevents users to have multiple profiles, but users are authenticated and their person is checked for duplicated accounts, not to be voters from the same account, from not the same account several times. It's anti-trivial system of voting. All other operations except of voting can be done with multiple accounts.
Okay, so since there are no more questions, maybe we still have a bit of time, Victor. So we can go with the question below. Like, if you could, by the way, the link in the chat is working, is redirecting directly to the right frame. And so there is one question, like, how do you see this project integrating with others or in the ecosystem? You can answer, Victor, but everyone can answer if you feel like. Like, we can talk or you can write it.
To be honest, I don't see ways to integrate it with other projects in the ecosystem, but in the future it may be invented.
Okay. Okay. And okay. And what do you think? would be the a big challenge? What would be the challenge for your project?
From what? You said from something. From what? I didn't hear. A good idea, I think.
What do you already have an idea of the interface that you want to have? I know you said that the front end is not ready, but do you have an idea of how this will be interfaced for most users?
I don't quite understand the question.
How do people interact with it?
Through the usual front end, it's mostly finished. Just need to fix some errors, some bugs.
Okay, because I saw that in the presentation it said front end is not done, but I might be wrong.
It's mostly done, but not designed. Not good. No good design. Generally, it's mostly done.
A lot there. That's
Yes, of course, there will be APIs. To be more precise, it exists, but it's not standardized yet. It might change in the future.
I think Victor also is very impressive what you have done, and also is a very big thing that you are trying to achieve. And I don't know, maybe in the past social networks they would start from one person, and that may still be the case today with some chance. But I truly think that such a big project like this, you need to integrate to a community, and that you like have what they need, and then you adapt a little bit what you're doing, because you can do like I think you code it almost yourself, this project. You did all the backend, and that's a lot, and if yeah, there are already many features, but I don't think they need more features, but now need real use case, like a community that use it for some project. I don't know until how, and that was the question of said, how we could integrate it to the Open Internet Summer. But I think that's what you need now, and then maybe develop some specific aspect that the community would need, like one features or two that would make it. Yeah, you
It's too
understand what I
early to
said?
do this. Too early to do this. I need to finish it's working.
Okay, it's too early. Okay. Yeah, okay. Thank you. I think, except if you still have something to say, Victor, or anything else? Okay. So thank you very much, and I think we can go to Jehan for the last presentation.
Okay, hello guys, thanks for being here. So I have a very ambitious project that I want to put out there. It's around the programmable money and programmable economy. Now, I guess the problem of solving sound money and programmable money is kind of like kicked off by Bitcoin. But as we all know, it's still not very widely accessible to ordinary people. And it still kind of is a kind of cryptocurrency, you know, and so the major people that, you know, always talk kind of negative about it is that it's not really based in the ability for us to spend the money because it's not based in real money or fiat money. So what I'm going to propose here is actually something that is going to revolutionize the way we actually even practice economy and program money, and it's all kind of possible on ICP. So this is going to be around the purpose economy, the knowledge economy. It integrates actually very well with a lot of the projects that I heard today so far. So let me kind of like give a bit of introduction on how it all works. The first kind of, I'm just going to explain it kind of from the use case perspective, because, you know, otherwise it gets a little bit technical. But imagine for a second that the first thing you can do with your ICP is you can create a kind of canister that houses your identity, right? And this identity of yours is yours. It belongs to you and only you. And you tell whatever truth about your identity is that you believe is true. And then what happens is the next step for you is to meet other people that are local to you, that actually you have a face-to-face connection with. And utilizing the app, you are able to verify their truth and they verify your truth. And what happens is in this exchange, you earn trust. Now, when you have earned trust, which is that they have verified your truth and you have verified their truth, when you have enough trust, let's say 5 units of trust, you can do a really cool thing. You can create what's called a treasury. And what this is this is the beginning of where it gets exciting. You can start to put money, real money, US dollars, euros, and so on, into this collateralized pool. Now, this collateralized pool is safeguarded with your 5 good friends. And with this collateralized pool, you can mint your own token. And this token is collateralized with the real money that is backing it. Now, what's really cool is that the money that's backing it is managed by a money management algorithm. And that money management algorithm is what I've developed is able to keep the purchasing power of your money stable and actually grow it. Which is how it does that is it simply shifts over time into other money assets, like from dollars to euros to Bitcoin to gold. You will slowly own a little bit of these assets as time goes on. And what's more is a little bit of your money is earning a yield on DeFi, and that yield is actually going to fund a new type of smart asset, which is called stake. Now, stake is really cool, but it comes in later in the picture when we talk about the economy itself. So now what you have is individually, you have your money assets working for you, and you're able to collateralize that into your own token, your own personal token. Now, this token is something that if you give to someone, they have a share of that collateralized pool of assets, that portfolio of assets that you own. And this kind of allows them to trust that your token has this value. And then what happens is now you have stake, you have your collateralized token, and you have trust. You can do what's cool. What you can create is called a collateralized promise. Now this is where it gets even more powerful. What's a collateralized promise? It's a promise that puts like your money at stake and your stake, and you say, I'm going to create some outcome in the world that can be tangibly measured or real. And other people can back that outcome as they believe it, and also they can build on top of it. When you make such outcomes, there is an algorithm that values that outcome. Now, this is what allows for the new type of production-first economy that will come from this. What happens now is that when we want to build things together, instead of doing the capital-first model, which is, oh, we need to get the funding, so let's get the funding, and somebody now owns our project before we've even done it, or we know what the value is. And this is the kind of trap that we kind of continuously find ourselves. And it's a trap of exploitation, because in capital-first modeling, you have to basically sell something or promise something that you don't have. Whereas with production-first, you are actually you're collateralizing a future promise, and you are actually paying for it, and you're going to produce it and own it when you make that promise. And the power of that is that people who build on top of that promise, create even more value. And then eventually when money comes from the string of the network of promises, you have a share of that money. Because effectively what's happening is that we're going to create value outcomes in the real world, which is basically a chain of multiple promises that self-organize around a specific purpose. And then this has its own currency that's also collateralized in real dollars. And as people demand that value outcome, they purchase that currency to consume it. And when they do that, they add dollars. And so that, a basic, automated market maker allows for a price to be set around the value to dollars transaction. So the more value you create, the more that value is worth in the economy. And this kind of, allows for use cases like Mushroom or Omana, things like that, very, very kind of easy. You don't have to create another blockchain. You don't have to create another crypto. In fact, that's a really cool thing. This whole token, there's no Freem token. There is a Freem token, but it's not a cryptocurrency. It is not a tokenized asset, because you don't need one. When everyone has their own collateralized token, and these tokens can be combined and collateralized into new tokens, then you don't need a centralized cryptocurrency, which is kind of like the real failing of crypto as it is, because everybody's trying to centralize a cryptocurrency, and then by doing that, they're centralizing the entire network around that currency. And I tried to do that initially as well. I fell into that trap, only to find that that's the weakness. As soon as I tried to create a crypto, I found myself having all kinds of issues around how to secure the keys, how to decentralize and yet distribute the value across multiple people. But I don't have to do that anymore, because all the 5 people that guard your CTP, that's where the value accumulates. Everyone gets their share of the value that they create through the decentralized network. So they don't need any kind of centralization. You basically use the CTP, the ICP, to be able to create your own version of the network, but this network is expansive. So as soon as you interact with other people's networks, you kind of add them to that network. So it kind of keeps compounding this form. Yeah, and then kind of want to get more into it. We talked about what is a stake, what is a smart asset. Now, this is a really cool invention as well. What it's going to allow is, as I said, 20% of that money that you are managing is being, put on interest through the DeFi protocol of yield farming on a stable coin. And the money that comes from that, the 4% or whatever, is going into this token called stake. And what happens with stake is that everybody has to allocate it to the promises that they think have the most likely chance of creating value in the system. And the better they are at doing that, the more money they make, because stake is an asset that will decay if it's not well positioned, and it will grow if it is well positioned. And it knows its full capacity of how much money is backing it. So when it decays in some people's hands and rises in another person's hand, it's always the same amount. It's not changing. It's not growing, and it's not diluting anything. It's basically allowing for people to all kind of play this game of staking on promises. So this allows for people to really kind of connect in their local communities around local purposes and find the promises and the promise makers that are going to add the most value in their terms. And when that value is created, people transact on that value and they exchange their money resources for that value. And so that value is realized. And the people who put the stake correctly are rewarded. Because they are actually owning more of the proportion of the dollars that are backing that stake. And not to mention also they have other rewards of earning a portion of that value that's created. So what else do I want to mention? So yeah, there's no crypto tokens, there's no investors, there are only members. Everybody is a member with an identity that is secured by their community. So it's not something that you can really easily change. You can't have two identities. You have to be human to have an identity. So you could represent companies and so on, but then you are known as a guardian or there's a word for it, but yeah, you are a representative. So you're creating a treasury for your company, but your own treasury is separate. And so this kind of way is to make sure that identities in the network are secured by the community, and your money basically is also kind of at stake when you when you create your identity. Everything is tied to your identity. So the cool thing is if you lose connection to your identity, maybe you forget your private keys or whatever, you have your 5 people that can reconstitute it. You don't have to trust, thousands of people. The cool thing is also the way that mining works and the way that validation works. There's some good protocols there around how we secure transactions in the network. Basically, all transactions are secured from CTP to CTP via another intermediary node that's nominated. And effectively, that's very fast. You can have all these transactions, allowing people to have real economic value exchange and real economic money exchange. And the algorithms, this is where the next step comes in, the programmable economy. This is a layer of algorithms that make sure that people who earn the most money are the ones who create the most value. Value being the outcomes that reach the most people, that have the most shared purpose, and so on. And those people have the highest reputation, they have the most efficiency of stake. So that means they actually spend less hours with higher knowledge assets, deploying knowledge assets and so on to outcomes that make a difference. So those are the people with the best value creating capabilities. And anyone can be that. This is not centrally owned. It doesn't give an unfair advantage to people who have a lot of money. It actually puts the the money in the hands of those who create the most value. And I think that has a huge impact to the way that we organize our society, our work, our incentives across the board. I think that's it.
Thanks, Jen. I have a lot of questions. Yeah. I mean, most of them are on the Miro, so I can.
Okay.
Yeah.
I gave you the
So,
link. It should direct that the new link should give you directly the access to the right.
Okay, you're gonna give it to me on Telegram? Or can I just do a search? Or no? Okay.
No, the link is in the chat.
Oh, you okay.
yeah.
Okay.
Gotcha. So essentially, you're creating a network where the most important asset becomes trust.
No, it becomes reputation, actually.
What is the main difference between the two?
So trust is something that's built on your social network. So when you validate your identity, that you are this person with this face and this email and this, and it just gets continuously propagated. So there are people who know you, that know people, that know people. That builds trust in the thing, that your identity is kind of, and your interactions with those different people that know you is true, right? So that's how the network knows if you are a real person. It doesn't, need a centralized authority. So reputation is something that you are earning as a function of your interaction with the network. And this is from, as I said, how many promises do you actually, actually complete? How efficiently do you complete promises? How much are you a part of building knowledge in the community, knowledge assets? How important are you? How important are the outcomes you create or are a part of creating? So these kind of questions can be solved through the graph of the network, and the people which have the relatively higher score have the relatively higher reputation. And what's more is the whole governance is done around reputation. Okay. Now, when I say reputation, there are other metrics like reputation mostly. It all feeds back into reputation, but I go into that in the governance. But basically, the way it works is that this economy. Remember, if we create this in Lisbon, people can simultaneously create it all over the world because it's decentralized, right? It starts with one person creating 5 people, and then 5 people creating 100 people. So it's just like it spans out from anywhere. But the networks don't touch each other until there's relationships that touch each other, right? And so these networks begin as distributed networks that come together. But because everyone is running the set of algorithms that govern the network is with everyone and everywhere at the same time. This is the great thing about ICP, is that you can have your canisters all fully programmed and you can interact with the right canisters at the right time. So you don't need, you don't need to sync anything across multiple networks. This is why I gave up on the whole, keeping a one token to rule them all, because that was causing issues around latency and all kinds of other things about keeping the value, equal and so on. But I figured out that you don't need that, because once you have individual tokens that are fully collateralized, right, in your container, the thing is that if I put $100 to back my tokens and I give $50 worth of tokens away, I can't do anything with the $50. That $50 is no longer mine and has already moved, and the software can guard that. The software is locking down the value that I've kind of given away, and it's also securing the value that I've earned. And as we are moving towards e-money, the euro, the Swiss franc are all e-money. The US dollar has already become e-money. You can use that, but we don't even need to use that because there is other providers that can secure our assets. Like, for example, even with Revolut, if we can convince them to obey smart contracts for a particular account, because the custody of the assets are always with the same person, it means that as long as the smart contracts are allowed, that means that if I spend my money, Revolut will say, okay, Jahan, you had $10 US, you've locked on this network, that $10 US now belongs to the network. And so we have to send that in USDC to the network. And then from the network, it'll go to Sebastian because I already promised him the $10. And the network will route that to Sebastian. And so in that way, because this also, it removes the regulatory issue that we normally have with all these crypto projects, because we are keeping self-custody. Did I answer your question, Seb? I think I may have gone on a tangent.
Yeah, that answers it and beyond. Yeah, there are more questions. Maybe Ricardo, you want to ask the next one?
No. Your token is backed by cash, always by cash, and you can't earn any reputation until you start your token. So you need, first thing comes money. You put money into the network, and this is in your own network, in your own canister. You've put the money, and you've secured that inside a smart contract that is secured, and that is the collateral on which you are allowed to create your token. Your token supply is locked so that it's guaranteeing each token a share of that collateral. Now, why you would do that is because you get the money management algorithm that keeps that $5. You will see it grow, but actually, if you check when you go back to Ocean, you will realize that it hasn't really grown. It's just let you keep the same number of chocolate bars or products, because what has happened is it's just moved the money from one cash asset to another cash asset, and it's secured the purchasing power. So, yes, last year I only needed €5 when I went shopping to buy the same amount of goods. Now I need 6.5. Well, I didn't earn more money. I just get to keep that €5 worth of purchasing power. And that gives a lot of benefit just there. But I think the real power will come from the promise economy, because think about all the things we can now do. Think about all the common purposes that instead of us making transactions with each other, where we say, okay, I will do this work for you, you give me $50 or give me 50 shares, because you don't know the value of the final outcome, let us just all own a piece of the outcome based on formulas that are derived that treat everyone the same, everyone equally, but it gives us the incentive to improve our value-making capabilities across the network. So the more value-creating capabilities you have along the network that you have demonstrated to the network, the more money or more value you're creating. The more value you're creating is the more share you have of the money that is eventually going to back that value. Does that make sense? Okay, good. Right. No, sorry. Yeah, those are just the tokens. I mean, sorry, promise is a different thing. That's a technology. But what if you're asking me the components of we were built, and I want to also explain how are you gonna pay for those things that we're going to build. So this is the really cool thing about making a promise economy, because it's production first. Let's say you and I decide to you're going to help me with something. You're not going to help me with something. You're going to work for the network, and you're going to make a promise. And if you make a promise, you're going to start with, one point of reputation, just like everyone does. And if you fulfill your promise, you own that promise. The network will calculate using a simple formula value of your promise, given your knowledge, the state of your other promises. You haven't got any, so you begin like that. Then the next promise that you do has to be chained onto the last promise, or it has to be chained onto something, right? Because what the game we're playing with these promises is that we want to contribute outcomes that create the most value, or can be built on by the most people. Because the value of our promise is going to be algorithmically updated as the state of the network that uses that promise changes. So let me give an example. If you create something useful for the network, whether it's knowledge or whether it's a funky tool or whatever, the network will initially just give you a number. That number will change as more and more people use that tool to build more things, or just use it for whatever. But the thing is, as more and more things that you do in the network also increases that value. So the value is a dynamic calculation. It's trying to incentivize everyone to be an author, an owner of the most value across the network. This is the future of work. You no longer have to ask for permission. You actually have to collateralize your own actions. You're backing yourself, and other people are able to back you if they have belief in your work. So it's a completely new, it's an ownership economy, not a prostitution economy. The thing is, like, it's not the kind of economy where you are selling yourself for money. You're owning. It's like, in Davos, they say, own nothing and be happy. This is own everything and build happiness. You have the complete different approach to the current economy, because your incentives are now aligned with the value that other people are a part of. You have purpose here. You don't work for some faceless organization and lose the production of your work. You are the owner of your work, and it's secured by the network that uses it. And these are promises. You can embed these promises in software. You can embed these promises in events that get triggered from any app, because these are obviously smart contracts to get triggered. It's you can say, okay, the validation criteria is when somebody sends a smiley face to the thing. That could be, it doesn't matter. Anything can happen in the real world. That happens in the real could be an event trigger for your promise, because everything is socially networked. People are connected. Purpose and promise, they keep each other accountable, and this is what's really the innovation here. Back into a community form of organization, not a kind of like everyone is a competitor. So this is about creative collaboration. That's really, really powerful. Thousands of use cases you can do with that. Yeah, I mean, white paper. Yeah, I've built thousands of papers. All of them are on white background, but nothing has popped out. Like, I'm really, I've got the protocol. I've got the, exactly almost down to, exactly the requirements that are going to need it. I'm still kind of like, because it's just been me for the last years building this. So I really now I'm starting to socialize the concepts. I want to put together a white paper. I have a repo of a bunch of documents, and I'm trying to get a community together because there's many dimensions to this kind of project. And, it's not just the game theory and the tokenomics, it's also the algorithms that I built. The only one I've tested is the money management algorithm. But let me take you through a really, really exciting use case. And no, this is actually, it's not the exciting use case. This is the most greedy use case, let's say. The greedy use case is this. You know how I said you can create your money portfolio, but you can also create an asset portfolio. Now, the asset portfolio can be full of your shares, stocks, whatever. Now, the thing is, asset portfolios can't be used as collateral for tokens, okay? That's one of the rules. What you can do is, if you make money in your assets, you could buy your token and therefore increase its value, right? Or you can mint more tokens by adding more collateral. But you cannot tie it, right? You have to use the dollars. At some point, you have to track the dollars or the euros. But let me say that if we've created asset portfolios. Now imagine a decentralized hedge fund, okay? Now, what I mean by a decentralized hedge fund, because everything is self-custody, right? And we've removed the need for regulators, because now anybody who has money is keeping their money with themselves. They never ever lose custody of the money, okay? And this means that there is no regulator in the world that can say, oh, we're going to find this guy or do this guy, or you're creating a security or an asset. You're not doing anything. What we're going to do instead is we're going to create what's called a gossip network. And a gossip network works algorithmically, in the sense that instead of, like, let's say one of you guys was you ran a cool AI algorithm that could predict the stock market future. And you could make a promise that says, hey, I believe if you buy the SPY at this price today, at this time, between this and this time, it will be profitable for you over the next 3 days. And you can put some collateral on that. And let's say you are right. If you're wrong, you just lose the collateral and you can try again. But let's say you're right. There could be an algorithm that then says, okay, this guy was right. Let me reward him. And then over time, you are consistently right. And if you're consistently right, then I can allow you to give your gossip directly to the treasuries. And those treasuries can say, okay, we have got very quality gossip here. Maybe we act on it and we buy the asset. And this allows any kind of hedge fund or any kind of person with high quality forecasting abilities to interact with consumers, but without ever touching their money or actually even marketing to them, because the network is algorithmically interfacing. And this, removes, this creates a very, very low risk kind of proposition for ordinary people. And it allows for all these people who are very good at that kind of thing to help them allocate those assets. So that's a huge benefit, let's say, for someone who wants to run their money management portfolio. Sorry, no, their asset-backed portfolios. But I'm just saying that as just and really what's cool about the decentralization of such a thing is that you're giving, because you're intermediating by algorithms, you're creating all kinds of new kind of self-organizing forms of interactions. Why I mentioned this kind of hedge fund is because I wanted to show you that you could create a kind of different kinds of games. Effectively, this is a game based on where people have to prove something using their own kind of collateral to prove it, because those who cannot prove it will just spend too much money, and those who can prove it will efficiently be able to do that within a certain amount of money. And by doing that, you can kind of create products that go immediately to the kinds of customers that are more than happy to use those products, but they can now trust those products because those products have been algorithmically verified. And so this programmed form of economy is extremely powerful. I mean, not to mention all the basic use cases. For example, let's take a simple use case where running this hackathon, for example. Let's imagine we do that on the free model. And if we did this on the free model, each of us would have our identities, and we, instead of trying to build, different projects, we could now look at where we can have the most value, right? So maybe mathematicians can help with certain problems which are related to mathematics and problem solving within different projects, and they can own a promise there or a couple of promises there, and other people can work on different things, and they can own parts of those different things. And then when the value comes, they are guaranteed to get their money. So this is, we don't have to make fancy contracts. We don't have to make fancy share agreements or anything. We are just making collateralized promises, which are going to be fulfilled by the network if they are linked in a chain to an outcome. So, yeah. Yeah, this is a great question. The thing is, reputation is leveraged on your basic ownership of the thing. You can't own a lot of like efficient stake and a lot of promises without actually an investor in this. You're basically earning a lot of money from this this network, right? Because your reputation score is basically, nutshell, how much money you've got invested in the network. So it's cutting off your, nose to spite your face. It becomes much, much more expensive to cheat than the gain that you can possibly hope to get. Because again, all you can ever get is access to the networks that you are already a promiser on. So if you screw up those networks, that's the most, I would say insane, but I'm sure there are insane people. But the thing is, you have to lose all that collateral that you have placed, and the network will recover, but you have collateralized, you will lose. I don't know what you would even gain, because at the end of the day, everyone is earning a certain amount of outcome tokens, right? That have $1 backing. You only earn, sorry? Yeah, you can only earn as much money as you are producing from your promises. So because everything is dollar backed, you, if you want to sell your outcomes, you will get the dollars that you already earned. The problem is if you leave the network, then remember, you're getting a future cash flow position, right? Because your promise, if it's a part of an outcome that is, like a service or something that's continuously, winning money, you can sell that, or you can, you can just keep the cash flows as it comes, because everything is dollar backed, right? The cheating part is if you break a promise. But if you break a promise, then, well, you've collateralized that promise. And you're collateralizing it more, the more value it's giving you. So your collateral is actually more at stake, the more reputation you're earning. You see? Because your reputation is a matter of collateral that you have. Yes. Yeah, that's the first thing. Yes. No, 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 no. This, no, no, no. You really, there's nothing you can screw in this because here's the thing. Firstly, remember, reputation is the fourth order. First, you have to get trust, then you have to get stake, and then you can have make promises, and then you can earn reputation, right? So, reputation comes from the promises that you actually made, not how much money you have or anything like that. Now, what you can do with reputation is only one really thing. It means that if you and I both want to make a promise in the network, and you have higher reputation, you produce more value, and your promise is worth more, and will be chained. Will have to be chained before mine. So if we want to make the same kind of promise, you will have the first go at it because you have the more reputation. That's all you can do. And if you fail your promise, then you will lose some of that reputation, and then hey, maybe we'll be equal again. But the thing is, your reputation only gives you more access to the potential to create value, because the network is saying you're lower risk than someone with a lower reputation, because that's all it's saying. You don't get a chance to screw anyone. You have to collaboratively build, and other people are staking on you. You're staking on yourself. Remember those tokens that I talked about, each person having their own money token. People are, they can invest in your token, right? They can buy your token at the current price, and they can hold it because they think, hey, this guy, he's going to earn a lot of money here, so I will just hold his token, and when it goes up, I'll sell it, and get the benefit. So they're investing in each other. So it's all about making these kind of connections. Because remember, you're still thinking of the old paradigm where we have a transaction model. So where, if I do something, it's a win-lose game. This is a production first economies are completely changing the direction of this. This is about, hey, if we don't collaborate, then we don't maximize the benefit. This is game theory, the Nash equilibrium of economy, right? It's saying the collaborative option is the best, and we are incentivized to create as much collaboration and as many different kinds of outcomes based on other people's, based on collaborating with other people's outcomes that we can do in this economy, because that's how we maximize our money. Because we're trying to access money in this network, right? We're trying to access money, and the way we do that is by creating promises, increasing our reputation so the value of our promises is maximized, and we earn the greatest amount of profit that way. So we want people to be as rich as possible, right? But they have to maximize the value to be doing that. So this is capitalism at the individual level, and kind of like value maximization. Don't call it socialism, but call it social-ish kind of maximization. But that's at the algorithmic level. It's highly capitalistic at the individual level. Your job is to maximize the amount of value you create, because that is how you maximize the money you create. And value is determined algorithmically based on your investment and other people's investment in the things that you create or bring to life, or are part of creating and bringing to life. Mm-hmm. Oh, doubts. What's a doubt? What's a doubt? I'd love to hear doubts. Hmm. What's he buying? Yeah. No, that's not how promises work. Promises have to be a real world outcome that you create that can be validated like externally by someone else. So a promise is not some kind of task, it's an outcome. And the thing is, individuals don't really have it. Like Seb can choose if he wants to build on top of your promise. Maybe he doesn't like this person because he doesn't trust them. So he doesn't have to build on it. And the thing about building on a promise, you have to be able to stake even more. So here's the thing. If you want to make promises that are very high value, like imagine that the work you're doing is very, very technical and requires a lot of resources. If you can actually increase the value of your promise by adding more stake and all these other things to make the algorithm give you a much higher value. The guy who has to build on top will have to be able to secure that value. So he needs to even put more value. Now, where can he do that? He can do that by you giving him some of your value, and you can share that across the next promiser, or you can wait for other people to do that for him. But here's your thing. You need people to build on your promises. If you want to make money, you need to get to the outcome. You need to get to something real that other people can actually use. Otherwise, the promises are just costing you money to keep alive on the ICP, because these are tools that have a cost, right? Obviously, we have to use computing resources and so on, and people have to pay for it. And the way you pay for it is you keep your little program running, and that costs something. So you don't have any incentive to keep promises that have no value or hope of getting value, because they're costing more money relative to promises that are being actually utilized. Yeah. Well, I can do better than that. I'm creating a community. I've got lots of documentation. I'm trying to sort that out with people that, because there's so many dimensions, I want different people involved in different dimensions, and especially people from this group, I really would love in the technical space, because I've got all the algorithms written out. I've got, all the technical spec there, not technical spec, maybe the requirement spec. And I need people that can really look at this from an ICP perspective and say, hey, this is how we're going to implement this, and that's kind of all part of this. It's good to have the mechanics, which is what I have. Now I'm in the process of like, okay, let's get this to make sure that it's implementable 100%, and then write the white paper, because the white paper should be completely implementable. Yeah. So I can put the link to the WhatsApp group and start that. Yeah. Okay. Okay. Yeah, no problem. Yeah, we'd love to have you.
Where is the group for Jayan that you said?
Yeah, it's right. Can I put it in the chat, or where should I put it?
Yeah, it's good. Yeah. Yeah, Discord will have more stickness.
Okay, Discord. All right, I'll just get it on Discord.
If you already have someone that is ready to make a promise.
That's fantastic. Yes, this is. I wanted to just clarify on that. Everyone can own a piece of the different things that they build on this, right? This is not. This is what's different about it. You are an owner. in this economy. You cannot be a just a participant. You have to be an owner. And owners are the people who make the promises. And so everything that we build here will be used by the network, and you get paid proportionally to its utility, right? Like, for example, some promises are paid every new member, and some promises are paid when members create certain outcomes, and so on. And depending on what drives your value, that will be the event that drives the transaction, which will then increase your access to money from the promises that you made relative to all the other promises, etc. If that makes sense?
Yes, and the potential with Open Internet Summer is pretty disruptive. It's exciting.
Yeah, it's disruptive. If we get something like this changes all of blockchain. It changes, because it completely destroys the idea that you need any kind of cryptocurrency or anything like that, and you've got a real money use case. And this is going to be very disruptive. You get real money involved that is not regulatable. You create a completely a new infrastructure on which all kind of crypto projects have to build on now from there on, because no one is going to trust a crypto project that has nothing backing it if they can have a value in economy that has money backing everything. So yeah, it changes the dynamics. I think I'm really hoping that a lot of people see the potential here and join up on the link.
Great. Well, thanks everyone. We see you tomorrow, and I'll keep you all in touch with the rules of the next few days.
Bye. Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.